Hochul doled out at least $415,000 on private jets while cracking down on polluters. This is absolutely ridiculous. I'm so sick of these hypocrites, so sick of these climate alarmists going around trying to regulate us out of existence. Oh, it's for the environment. Oh, it's for the environment. All these other things. But they jet setting around the world, polluting more than anybody. They have multiple homes, polluting more than anybody, multiple vehicles, polluting more than everybody, and yet telling us we need to shell out more money uh, for the environment. I'm so sick of these hypocrites. We're gonna talk about it, but before we get started, go ahead and hit that like button. Share this out so we can get this information out there. Subscribe if you're not already a subscriber, and hit that alarm bell so you know when I'm putting out new stuff. Also, check out my link tree in the description. It has a link to my Patreon. That's where I talk about things that I can't talk about here. There's also a link to my Instagram and my X account, so follow me there as well. All right, so let's get into this news. Now, this comes from the Washington Examiner, and they report that Governor Kathy Hochul has spent around $415,000 on private jet flights since 2021. The money was doled out by her campaign committee, with most spent in 2022 during her reelection campaign against former Rep. Lee Zeldin. A pilot experienced in private aviation told the New York Post that Hochul's use of private jets is, quote, very wasteful. He said, quote, it's very wasteful, especially for an elected official, he said. There is no reason why any elected official in New York should be taking a private jet. Nearly everywhere in New York or upstate has a commercial airport that will take you anywhere in the country. Private jets are known to be especially wasteful considering the small amount of passengers they carry. A 2021 report from the European Federation for Transport and Environment found that private jets are 5 to 14 times more polluting per passenger than commercial flights, and 50 times more polluting than trains. Hochul utilized two private airline companies, Zephyr Jets and Apollo Jets, and spent no less than $5,000 on each flight, while her most expensive journey was $38,594. The New York State Democratic Committee, which Hochul commands, spent an additional $75,000 on four private jets in 2021 and 2022. Hochul private jet usage is contradictory to the message she's sent out and how the state will address climate change. Quote, I'm the only candidate for governor of New York who is committed to cracking down on polluters, cutting carbon emissions, and treating climate change like the crisis that it is. Our environmental progress is at stake in November, Hochul said in an X post on October 22nd. But yet, she's still jet setting around the world, pun intended. A Hochul spokesperson defended her after being asked about the flight, saying that the trips are, quote, strictly allocated for legitimate campaign activities. So why fly private then? You know, if you're trying to save the environment, you will hop on the flights like with everyone else instead of flying private to save the environment, right? I mean, this is hypocritical. You can't pretend like it's not. Quote, as the leader of the New York State Democratic Party, Governor Hochul frequently travels to campaign rallies, fundraisers, and events like the Democratic National Convention. These travel expenses are covered by the appropriate political entities, Hochul spokesperson Brian Lizimore said. We're not talking about it being about who's paying for it. We're talking about the environmental impact, because she's coming out here talking about climate change, making companies pay millions of dollars, and making regular drivers have to pay just to drive to get back and forth to work, but for so-called the environment, and you're sitting here taking private jets around the world, around the country. Like it's hypocritical. That's what we're talking about. She's not the only governor to make use of private jets for campaign-related trips. Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker took multiple private charters to New York and Washington, D.C., the first time in Illinois history, which cost him and his campaign over $150,000. Criticism of Hochul flying private comes after Republicans attacked her for overusing the state's aircraft in 2022. She used the aircraft 140 times in a 7-month period, wow, costing taxpayers $170,000. Her predecessor, former Governor Andrew Cuomo, was similarly criticized. He used the state aircraft more than any other governor during his re-election run in 2018, which some argued gave him an advantage over his primary opponent. Hochul is facing immense internal pressure from the New York Democrats who want to oust her for the 2026 gubernatorial race. She faced previous criticism for down ballot House losses in 2022, but recovered some ground during the 2024 elections, winning several seats back. Rep. Richie Torres is one of the main detractors. He has his eyes on the governor's office in just a few short years. Quote, when it comes to combating climate change, the governor is conspicuously failing to practice what she preaches. New Yorkers viscerally resent hypocrisy, and the governor's hypocrisy here is as staggering as her carbon footprint, Torres told the New York Post. Now, Tory is a I believe is a Democrat. Yeah, Tory is a Democrat. He's believing in this climate change stuff. But he's accurate on. I agree with him on this. He's accurate on this. It's blatant hypocrisy, and I don't understand like how the Democrats continue to get away with this hypocrisy. But y'all let me know what y'all think about this. Leave your comments down below. Like, share, subscribe, and check out jjthepsychotherapist.com for the latest news. Until next time, peace.